Good morning, students. Welcome back to the second session of employee cost. Myself, CA Vibhagadhavan. So we'll continue from where we left. In the last session of employee cost. Good morning, all of you. Glad that so many students have joined. In the first session of employee cost, we shared the concepts of employee cost and then employee cost control, and then how we calculate the earnings, and then how we calculate the employee cost to the organization. What is the difference between earnings to the workers or employee cost to the organization? So what's the difference between these two? How we calculate? So these things we discussed, and there's one illustration you can see on the screen. I hope you have taken the note of this illustration. So we can start with this illustration to basically understand the again. It's just a warm-up illustration so that we just brush up the concepts which we have done in the first session. So in this question also, you have to calculate the earnings and the cost to the organization, right? So let's start. Good morning, all of you. So let's start this question. Try to understand the question before you do. Good morning, all of you. So this company has 4 workers, Ram, Shyam, Mohan, and Kundan. And wages are paid 100 per day, 120 per day, 130 per day, and 2500 per month. So out of 4, 3 are paid per day, and one, the last one, Kundan, is paid per month. The second paragraph is very interesting. Standard working days in a week are 6 of 8 hours per day. So 6 days in a week and 8 hours per day. For the month of October, there was only one holiday other than Sunday for which no payment was made to employees except Kundan, who was paid for full month. So rest of the 3 employees are paid per day, and if they have done one holiday or there is a holiday for which they are not paid, you will not take that particular day. All right. Sundays are considered paid holidays, so that we have to include Sundays. Provident fund contribution. Employer and employee 8% each. ESI contribution 5% employer and 4% employee. On the basis of above, you are going to calculate regarding the month of October net wages receivable. So here the earnings you have to calculate. So how we calculate earnings? Whenever we calculate earnings, we first calculate all the gross wages. All right, whatever wages they are getting or whatever the salary they will be getting, less employee deduction of PF and ESI. Right. So here I'm just writing it over here. You can also solve it. Ram, then Sham, then Mohan, and then Kundan. I'm writing it this way. You can just make a proper statement, a proper format. So 100 per day, 120 per day, 130 per day, and 2500 per month. So for Kundan, it is 2500 per month. It's going beyond the board. So let me write it over here. Ram, Sham, all the 4. All right. So it is 100, 120, 130, and 2500. 130 and 2500. So Ram, Shyam, and Mohan is per day. Now, how many days in a month? October, 31 days in October month. In 31 days, there is one holiday other than Sunday for which no payment is made. So that means 100 into 30 days, into 30 days, into 30 days. And what about Kundan? Kundan, who was paid full month. So Kundan will be paid monthly. So it's 2500 per month only. It will remain to be that only. You have to calculate the wages for October only, not for the entire year, only for October month, right? So this is the wages we have calculated. Now, since we have to calculate the earnings, so this is the total wages. Can anybody tell the total wages, please? So this will be 3000, 3600, 3,900 and 2,500. So please tell me the total. What is going beyond every time? Okay. So total has to be 13,000. All right. Total is 13,000 here. Total wages. I hope this much you have understood, all of you. Good morning. All right. So this is the wages we have calculated. The wages, the gross wages. All right. So then if we have to calculate the earnings, we have to deduct employee contribution. All right. Employee, I told you in the next class, in the last class, employee and ESI. Provident fund and ESI. So how much is provident fund and ESI? Employee. 8% provident fund and employee ESI is 4%. So 8% and 4%. All right. So it's 8% and 4%. So that you have to deduct and then you will be calculating. So can you tell me the net salary of Ram, Shyam, Mohan and Kundan after deducting provident fund of 8%, 4%, the salary per employee and the total? Yes, 13,000 is the gross wages. It's already zoomed, Soumyakanta. It's already zoomed. I hope it should be, it's clearly visible. Students, the illustrations which I include are from the study material, are from revisionary test papers, are from the last year question papers. It's all from the institute material, but from different ways. Some are mock test papers, some are revision test papers, some are the actual question papers which have come in the last year's the examinations. So all questions are mixed, but all are questions from your cost and management accounting intermediate only. So I have taken the questions from different parameters like RTPs and mock test papers. So RTPs or MTPs or last year papers. So it's all mix of all. So whatever illustrations I've included, just practice it here. And we will be sharing the PPT also, so you can practice later also. All right. So let's concentrate on the question. Can anybody tell me the net wages which Ram, Shyam, Mohan and Kundan will be receiving? See, gross wages is 3,000, 3,600, 3,900 and 2,500. Then you have to do a PF deduction, ESI deduction of all the four. So can you tell me the net salary of Ram, Shyam? Here they are not being paid. Holidays are considered, holidays are already paid, but in this question, holiday is not paid. It's very clearly given. There was one holiday other than Sunday for which no payment was made to employee. All right. So please refer to the question and every whatever how we approach the question, you have to be based on whatever information is given in the question. Anything which is overhead in one question may not be overhead in the other question. All right. So just concentrate and let us just do based on every question. So net wages. Okay. So this is 11,480. 11,480 is what? I just want the net wages or should I calculate? PF 8% you have to make a deduction out of 3,000 and 4% also. So 3,000. So I think it's 2,640 for Ram. 2,640 for Ram. Yes. Okay, Muninda has given the answer. Okay, some students are saying full screen is not visible to them, half screen is visible to them, but I can see it's clearly visible. Okay, for Shyam, it's 3,168. For Mohan, it's 3,432. And for Kundan, it's 2,200. So how much is the total net wages for all the four employees? 2,200. All right. So just do the total of all the four. Total of all the four employees. 13,000 gross wages for all the four. 13,000 gross wages for all the four. Let me write it properly so that it's visible. So it's 13,000 gross wages for the all the four employees. And how much is the total? Anybody doing the total or should I do? 2640 plus 3168 plus 3432 plus 2200. So it's 11440. 11440. All right. So total of the net wages. Please, why employee share on PF is exempted in employee cost as spent by employer? I don't understand the question, Keshav, and the why employee PF is deducted and why employer contribution is added and where they're added. I've explained in detail in the last session of employee cost. So I think you can refer to that session and you will understand. All right, and it's a very very important concept. So let me just briefly explain you for all those who must have missed the last session. Whenever we calculate the net earnings received by employee, we always deduct employee contribution. But whenever we calculate the cost to the employer, the employee cost, there we add the employer contribution. So this difference and this working I have explained in the first session of employee cost in detail. And on the basis of this, we are doing this question also. All right. So this is the net wages receivable by every employee and also in total. All right. Okay. No, it's not 11520, it's 11440. Now let's move on to the second part. What is the total amount of provident fund required to be deposited by employer? Total amount of provident fund. So provident fund means employer will deposit the provident fund, employer contribution also and employee contribution also. So the total amount will be deposited by the employer to the government. All right. So total, the employer also, both the contribution will be deposited. Employer and employee, both the contribution will be deposited. So now 8%, that means 8% for employer and 8% for employee. The gross wages are 13,000. So 8% employer and 8% employee. So 16% on 13,000 will be the total provident fund contribution which will be deposited by the employer. All right. 13,000 is the contribution. We have taken just the total rather than taking individual employee. So employer will deposit 8% of employer and 8% of employee contribution on 13,000. All right. So here it's mentioned also. You can see here also. Total wages are 13,000, employer contribution 8%, employee contribution 8%. So total provident fund will be deposited is 2,080. All right. I hope you must have understood this. So this is the second part of the question. What is the third part? Total amount of ESI required to be deposited. So ESI, again, it has to be deposited on 13,000. So 5% employer and 4% employee. So 5% on 13,000 employer contribution and 4% on 13,000 employee contribution. Clear? We have to deposit on gross wages only. So the contribution will be on gross wages. Gross wages total are 13,000. So 5% employer and 4% employee. So here you can also see again total wages 13,000. So employer will deposit 5% as employer contribution and 4% of employee contribution. So both the contribution 1170 will be deposited as ESI by the employer. All right. Let's move on to the third part. What is the total labor cost to the employer? Now, here comes the labor cost, the employee cost. There's a difference between how we calculate net wages and how we calculate employee cost. So here you have to calculate labor cost. Labor cost means again gross wages. So labor cost means gross wages. It is the cost to the employer plus employer contribution. Employer contribution of PF and ESI. So whenever we calculate labor cost or employee cost, that means employee cost to the organization or cost to the company, which we call as CTC. We always add the employer contribution. right? So gross wages plus employer contribution to PF and ESI, all the three components will be part of total labor cost. Here we don't deduct anything, all right? Whatever employer is bearing the cost, we have to add it. So this is for the labor cost. Can anybody tell me the total labor cost very quickly? Can anybody tell me the total labor cost? Darshan, Sundays are never part of overhead. It's part of salary. Okay, Sundays are always part of salary. Like a normal idle time, you can say. So Sundays are part of it. It's not overhead. Okay. Total amount. What do you want me to explain again, Suraj? 16250 is what? The total labor cost? 16250. Let me see. We must have the solution also. Total labor cost. Let us confirm. Yes. 14690 should be the labor cost, gross wages, employer contribution, and employer contribution to ESI. So whenever we calculate labor cost, that means whatever employer has contributed to the employee, whatever employer has contributed. So wages plus employer contribution and to PF and to ESI. So 14690 should be the labor cost. All right. So once 14690. Okay. Now many students have calculated 14690. So I hope you have understood. And the most important is the actually the difference between earnings and the labor cost. All right. So let us any other, okay, there's a fourth part also. If material cost is 20,000, if material cost is 20,000, overheads are charged equal to labor cost, calculate total cost for the month. So total cost means material, labor and overheads. Material cost they have given. Overheads are charged equal to the labor cost. So we can calculate the total cost also here. Material cost is 20,000. So material is 20,000. That is the fifth part of the question. Labor cost we have just calculated 14690. Overheads are equal to the labor cost. So whatever is the overheads are the overhead. Whatever is the labor cost are the overheads also. So this is the total cost. All right, material, labor and overheads. Labor cost we have calculated and overheads are equal to the labor cost. So this is the total cost you can calculate. So this is the fifth part of the question, a very good question of revision test paper. So a very good question to clear your concept, especially of how we calculate earnings and how we calculate labor cost and what are the components of total cost. And again, how we calculate provident fund and ESI. So good practice question. So I hope this question must be clear to all. Okay, so the total cost, I'm getting the figures 49,380. Good. 49,380 is the total cost. 49,380 is the total cost to the organization. All right, so this was the question. We have done all the 5 parts. Now let's move on. Okay, so let's move on to the wage payment and incentive schemes. So see, the organization pays the wages first on the basis of time based or output based, and then they give some incentives also, bonus also, if the workers or employees are efficient, if in this within the same time they are producing more or they are producing the same in the less time. So whatever time they are saving, or if they are showing more efficiency, they are able to produce more output, more production. So the employees or the workers or the laborers are paid incentive or bonuses. So here we will understand some concepts of incentive schemes. So in the wages and incentives are based on time based. Time based again, it could be days or it could be month or it could be hours or it could be weeks. All right. So time based, output based means the production based. So per piece, how many units the workers has produced in a day or in a month or whatever. So combination of time and output again. So how many units are produced in one day? or till this time, I mean, minimum you will be paid for 5 hours, but beyond that, whatever output you have produced, you will be paid according to that. So combination of time and output. Premium bonus method. So the bonus, how the bonuses are paid, what are the methods under which the bonuses are paid, and when they show more efficiency to produce greater output. Group bonus scheme, when a team or a department gets a bonus and shares the bonus. So if a management is giving the bonus of 10,000 and there are 20 people in a team, so how they will be sharing. So that is a group bonus scheme. So management gives group bonus scheme also to one team or one department, whosoever has done, or let us say the production department has able to reduce the cost to a much extent. So management will give the bonus to the whole department. So whosoever is there in the department will share that bonus. So that is group bonus scheme. And incentives for indirect workers, because indirect workers, we cannot measure how much they have contributed to production or how much they have contributed to revenue. So there are different incentives for indirect workers. So all these are basically the policies and schemes used in different organizations. So let us understand it better. So time based, again, time based is, per hour or per week or per day, as I said. So time work means how many months or days or hours you worked into rate for the time. So if it's a monthly salary, normally the employees use the monthly salary, the laborers are using, per hour or per day. So that is based on time. All right. Moving on to piece rate. Piece rate means output based. Output based is whatever units you have purchased. So you can see number of units produced into rate per unit. So whatever wages they will be getting, whatever output they have produced in a day. So according to that, and what is the rate per production of that output. All right. So if they have produced 10 units, and then they will be paid 100 per unit. So the wages are 1,000. So whatever production they have made, according to that, the rate will also be according to the output only. All right. So that is piece rate. Piece rate means unit based, how much units of production or output they have produced. So these are the bonus method, the very famous Halsey premium method and Rowan method. There are two premium bonus method which can be used by an organization. So how basically it's a bonus, the incentive. That means whatever the number of hours you have worked, you will be getting a normal wage rate. Plus, this is the bonus. How much you will be getting the bonus. So in Halsey method, if you are saving, only then you will be paid a bonus. So let us say the time allowed is 20 hours and you are taking 25 hours, then there is no bonus. Of course, for 25 hours, you will be paid the normal wages. But bonus you will be paid only and only if you are saving the time. So if the time taken, if the time allowed or the standard time is 20 hours and you are taking 15 hours, so that means you have saved 5 hours. Only then you will be paid bonus. So in Halsey or Rowan, whenever if you are saving the time, then only you will be paid bonus. All right. If you are not saving time, then you will be, of course, getting the normal wage rate, whatever is there. Clear? But bonus you will not get. Bonus you will get only and only when you are saving the time. All right. So time taken into time rate is a normal wage. All right. So this is the normal wage. The normal wages which you get. This is the part of the bonus. Right. So the total wages under Halsey will be, so this is the normal wages, whatever time you have taken, whether you have saved or whether you have not saved, you will get the normal wage. Plus this part, the second part of this is the bonus. So 50% of time saved into time rate. So rate is the same, but you will get additional wages for the 50% of the time saved. So if under Halsey, even if you are saving time, you are getting the incentive for only 50% of the time saved. So the organization is again saving 50% of the wages. They are not paying you 100% of time saved. They are just paying you 50% of the time saved. So it's a win-win situation. See, so 50% benefit is going to employee and 50% benefit is going to employer also. Because whatever time you are saving, You are not getting 100% of it. You are just getting 50%. So employer is also benefiting out of it. Employer is able to save 50% of your wages, and it's when you are being given only 50% of the wages as bonus. So that is health premium, and that's why it's also called a health 50% plan, because whatever you are saving, you will get the benefit of to the extent of only 50%. All right. So this I hope you have noted down. It will be useful when we do the illustrations. Rowan premium plan. Rowan premium plan. Again, this part is the normal wage. So these are the total wages, so normal wage, and this section is the bonus. So under Rowan, time saved by time allowed into time taken into rate per hour. So exactly into the proportion of the normal wage, you will be paid time saved by time allowed. All right. So this is under Rowan plan. So a Rowan plan is very good if you are moderately efficient. If you are really efficient and you are giving high production or you're saving a lot of time, then Rowan plan is not very beneficial. But Rowan plan is very beneficial when you are a moderately efficient person. All right. So these are the two plans. Let us, if there is an example. Okay. So there's one example also. You can quickly calculate the earnings under Halsey and Rowan. I hope you must have noted down how we calculate under Halsey and Rowan. So if I write it over here, Halsey, time taken into rate plus. So this is the normal, and here 50% of time saved into rate. All right. So this is the bonus part, and this is the normal wage part. So time taken into rate plus 50% of time saved into rate. And what about Rowan? Rowan again, the normal wage, time taken into rate plus time saved by time allowed into time taken into rate. So this is how we calculate Halsey and Rowan. This is the first section is the normal wage, and this section is the bonus, right? So please calculate for both Halsey and Rowan and tell me the final amount. 14560 is labor cost. You just there are solutions already. You can just check later on. Bonus, yes, bonus is part of employee cost. See, what is employee cost? Employee cost is whatever employer is paying to the organization, to the employee, whether in cash or in kind or any benefit. I've explained this in detail in the first session. So please, those who have missed the first session, please go through the first session first, because many concepts have been, discussed in the first session of employee cost. All right. So just for your understanding, employee cost includes everything that the employer is incurring, everything, whether it's paying to the employee or not. For example, wages, salaries, bonus, commission, whatever monetary is actually paying to the employee, that is also employee cost. And whatever employer is incurring, let us say on training facility, bus facility, recreation, everything which the employer is incurring the cost. All right. Whether it's available to, whether the employee is receiving in cash or not. But if the employee is receiving as a facility also, that is also part of employee cost to the employer. So, for example, if the employee is being paid 20,000 as salary, so 20,000 is being received by employee as cash. All right. And also the employee is getting free lunch. Free lunch of rupees 100 per day. Free lunch of rupees 100 per day, and the employee, for example, is taking lunch of 20 days. Okay? So employee is not receiving that lunch in cash, but employee is receiving the benefit of free lunch. But employer is paying the lunch for the employee. So for employer, the lunch cost is also a cost. For employee, the earning is 20,000, which the employee is receiving as salary. All right. So let me just explain you this. I think there's some confusion to the students. See, employee, whatever you are paying to employee, and what is the cost to the employer. employee is being paid cash wages, for example, 20,000. So 20,000 is the paying, we are paying cash to the employee. This is also the earnings and its cost to the employer. Cost to the employer is also 20,000. Plus employee is getting free lunch. Employee is getting free lunch. It's not paid it because it's not in cash. It's in kind, free lunch. But the cost of the lunch is being borne by the employer. Let us say the cost of the lunch is 1,000. So salary of employee is 20,000, but cost to the employer is 21,000. Whatever employer is paying for the employee. See, to the employee and for the employee, I'm repeating. Whatever employer is paying to the employee in cash or kind and for the employee. It's all cost to the employer, whether it's actually being paid to the employee in cash or not. So here 20,000 employees receiving as salary. That is a cost also, but the employee is also getting a free lunch. So that is not paid in cash to the employee, but employer is paying the cost for it. So the lunch cost is also a cost to the employer. So, okay, now one more thing we can add. Let us say the employer is giving or club facility. So club facility also we are giving to the employee. Again, it's a facility. Club facility is also a facility. We are not paying anything in cash to employee, but employer is bearing the cost of the club. Let us say the cost of the club is 5,000. So again, the earnings to the employee. So the earnings to the employee is again 20,000. Okay, but cost to the employer is 26,000. Now are you getting the difference between it? So whatever you are paying to the employee is earnings to the employee. But for the employer, the cost of that employee is much higher because the employer is paying for the employee, which the employee is, enjoying the benefit of it. Now you understand. So there's a difference between earnings and cost to the employer. And cost to the employer is always much more than the earnings paid to the employee. All right. So I hope now the concept should be clear to you. Coming here, can you tell me the total under Halsey and Rowan plan? Okay. So Halsey 420. Eight hours without saving time. Just tell me the value for Halsey plan. Halsey is how much? Halsey is 420. Okay, Halsey is 420 and Rowan is 450. Clear? So this was the basic question so that you understand the concept of it. Okay, so let us move on to this illustration, which is there in the slide. Just take note of this question, please. There again under Halsey and Rowan. Two workmen A and B produce same product using same material. Okay, same product using same material. It's very important to understand the question and then you will understand how we approach the question. Their normal wage rate is also same. A is paid bonus according to Rowan and B is paid bonus according to Halsey. The time allowed, the standard time is 50 hours. A take 30 hours and B take 40 hours. The factory overhead rate is 5 per hour actually worked. The factory cost also they have given. Compute the normal rate of wages. Okay, so the normal wage rate is the same, but they have not given the rate of wages. So see, they have given the total factory cost. That means it's a question of a missing figure. So the material cost, the factory cost, the total of factory cost. So total of factory cost means material, labor. All right, material and labor and overhead. So this is the total. So this is material cost, labor cost and overhead, and the total cost they have given 3490 and 3600 for this both the employees. So this is the way we have to calculate. They want us to basically, now this will be solved as part of the equation because some of this information is given and some is not given. So let us see how to approach the question. Material information is not given. So we can assume material to be X. So let us assume material to be X. Both workmen are using same material. So it will be X for both the employees. Labor. Now labor is also the wage rate is not given. So let us assume the wage rate as Y. So let us assume the wage rate as Y. All right. Here we have to form this equation. So now let us see how it is done. So the total of this is, okay. So 3490 is the total for A. Now the total of factory cost is made up of material, labor, and overhead. Do we know material? No, we have assumed X. I'm doing it for A first. You will replicate the same for B. So material is X plus. Let us find out now the wages plus the bonus. All right. So wages will be normal wage rate we have assumed as Y because it's not given. So the normal wages is time taken into wage rate per hour. So time taken for A is, I'm doing it for A first. 30 hours. So 30 Y. All right. Wage rate is not given and 30 hours are given. So 30 Y plus. A worker is paid on the basis of ROAN. A worker is paid on the basis of ROAN. ROAN is time saved by time allowed. How much is the total time allowed? 50 hours and A has taken 30 hours. So time saved is 20 hours divided by time allowed, which is 50. Time saved by time allowed. Time saved is 20 hours in the worker A case into 30y, time taken into rate per hour. So X plus 30y plus 20 by 50. So this is the normal wage and this is the bonus plus the factory overhead. Rate is 5 hour per actual hour worked. How much actual hour worked? 30 hours. So 5, 150. So 150. Okay, so here can we, okay, I'm writing it over here. There is no space. So it's 150. All right. So for A, I have made the equation. You have to make the similar equation for B. 3490 total overheads because total factory cost is made up of material, labor, and overheads. Material we have assumed as X. Labor, the normal wage, time taken into rate per hour. Time taken is given 30 hours. Rate per hour is not given. We have assumed as Y plus the bonus as per ROAN is paid to A. So time saved by time allowed into 30Y plus the overhead cost. Overhead cost is 5 per hour worked. So worked is 30 hours and 5 per hour, so 150. Make a similar equation for B. Please make a similar equation for B. Let us try. Total is 3600 is equal to X because both are using the same material plus. What is the time taken? 40. 40Y. Rate again we don't know. So 40Y plus. To worker B, we are paying bonus under the Helze plan. Helze plan. All right. So Helze plan says 50% of time saved. 50% of time saved. Worker B has saved 10 hours. So 10 hours into rate per hour, which is Y. All right. Plus, what is the overhead cost for B? 5 per hour plus 45 into 4, 200. So 200. Now, this is the equation we have formed for A and B. I hope you must have understood this. Shubham, what was the query? If in the health safe employee won't save, he will earn more, right? You have to see, you just take different combinations and try. I will advise you to just do this exercise on your own. Take different time saved and different time allowed. Take two combinations of time saved less than 50% and then take two combinations of time saved more than 50%. All right, Shubham? Do this exercise, come to the analysis and then share. It's always better if you understand these things on your own. All right. So if I can give you a conclusion straight away, but you will not understand this way. So solve on your own. I'm again telling you, take two situations of time saved when the time saved is less than 50% of time allowed and two combinations when time saved is more than 50% of the time allowed, I'm telling you, you will get to a surprise conclusion. And solve this under both the methods, Halsey and Rowan. All right. You solve it and you give me that conclusion, that what conclusion you come out. See, in chartered accountancy, it's always better if you do the analysis, rigorous analysis by making different permutations and combinations. And whatever learning you will get out of it, you will always remember. All right. So, Shubham, do this exercise and don't forget to share the conclusion with me. So, let's move to illustration. A and B, both the workers. So you just have to solve this equation. I hope you know how to solve it. You just place both the equations together, change the sign if they said they placed just next to each other, and then you just solve it. And you will find what is the calculate the value of y or x, whatever you are able to calculate. I think you will find the value of y here. So value of y you can calculate here. Anybody who can solve this equation? Yes. So just calculate the value of y. Just calculate the value of y. Anybody who is able to solve the equation? Anybody who has solved the equation? Just place the equations next to each other and then solve. Okay, so answers are coming. Good. Is 20. X is 20 or Y is 20? Labor cost is 20. Labor cost is 20. What do you mean by labor cost? See, don't use the wrong terminology again. If you use the wrong term, you will actually get confused. 20 is not labor cost. What is 20? If the answer is 20, Y. What is Y? Y is 2500. No. Material cost is 2500. Material cost is X. What is Y? Y is 20. So 20 means Y means the rate per hour is 20. Rate per hour. The labor rate per hour is 20, not labor cost. Labor cost means the total cost. So Y is actually the wage rate per hour. The labor rate per hour is Y, and that is 20. So Y is 20. Now once you get Y as 20, now you calculate the value of X also, which is the material cost. All right. So let me just show you here. Okay. So we have the solution also here. X we have taken as cost of material and Y we have taken the normal rate of wage per hour. So this is the equation. The first equation we have made. Okay. So material cost X, wages, normal wages, and this is bonus and these are overhead. So this was the total. Right. This was for A. Okay, so we have the for B also, X material cost, wages, this is bonus, overhead. So this was the total. So this is equation 2. So we have so we have the comparative cost also here. So the normal wage rate is 20. That means Y is 20 per hour. So if Y is 20 per hour, you just have to place this Y in the equation and calculate the value of X also. See, material comes to 2500. If you just have to place 20 and then solve the equation, you will come to X also, which is the material cost. So material both are same because they both are using the same material. That is why. Direct wages, again, you just replace Y with 20. Just replace Y with 20. Wherever Y is used, use 20. And you will get the direct wages, you will get the bonus. And factory overheads are already there. So the total factory cost will come out to be same. So this is how, and it's a very, very good practice question to understand the concept of Halsey and Rowan. All right. So both methods are good, but Rowan method basically when the time saved is more than 50% of the time allowed. And again, to all the students I'm advising, take 4 combinations, all right? 2 combinations, less than 50% of the time saved. And then 2 combinations of more than 50% of the time saved. All of you must do this exercise. You will understand Halsey and Rowan plan better. All right. When you save more than 50% of the time saved. All right. So for example, if the time allowed is 10 hours, and you are taking 4 hours. That means less than 50%. 50% of time allowed is 5 hours. If you are using less than 5 hours, Rowan plan is better. And if you are using more than 5 hours, all right, that means if your time saved is more than 50%, then Rowan plan is not more efficient. So Rowan plan is generally efficient when you are a moderately efficient person. If you are saving more than 50% of the time allowed, then Rowan plan is not that beneficial. But again, I will advise you, you do this exercise on your own. Solve these with different permutations and combinations. All of you must do. You will understand it better. All right. So take your own combinations, take your own time allowed and time saved, and then use to discount. But take two parameters: less than 50% of time saved and more than 50% of time saved. So if the time allowed is 10 hours, take 3 hours and 4 hours, and take 7 hours or 9 hours. All right. And then you just solve this exercise. So this is again a question where we have formed the equation and how we have calculated the, how we have reached up to the total factory cost. Yeah. So I hope all of you must have managed to just get the answer of it. Let me give you a final look of this question before we proceed. So this was the question. We have calculated normal rate of wages, material cost, and then the statement of comparison of both the workmen, one under Halsey and one under Rowan. All right. Yes, Y is 20, normal wage rate. Employee would get less wage if he completes the job before the standard time, benefit to the employee in the saving, ma'am. You just again do the combination, Darshan. You will find it that you will calculate and you will come to that conclusion. First, do that exercise, what I'm telling you. Reach up to that conclusion. Don't come to hypothetical situations. This will happen, then what will happen? Come to the conclusion on your own. I'm telling you, you will understand it better. All right. Still, if you haven't understood, then of course I'll be telling you. But again, it's always better if you learn on your own. Try to learn on your own. Do rigorous study, do rigorous combinations, solve under different parameters, and you will understand on your own. All right. But again, if you're still not able to understand, then of course I'm there to tell you. All right. So moving on to the next concept and illustration, let us see what is there in store for us. Okay. So we have another illustration. Just take a note of this, all of you. Take a note of this question, please. A skilled worker in XYZ Limited is paid a guaranteed wage rate of 30 per hour. So this is the guaranteed wage rate. The standard time per unit is 4 hours. Standard time per unit. That means the time allowed is 4 hours. Mr. P, a machine man, has been paid wages under Rowan. So he's being paid under Rowan incentive plan, and he has earned an effective hourly rate of 37.5. Effective hourly rate means whatever is the wages you are being paid and how much actual hours you have worked. All right. Effective hours means how much actual hours you have worked. If the time allowed is 4 hours. So in this question, if the time allowed is 4 hours and you have taken 6 hours, so the effective hours is 6, what you have actually taken. Clear? So the total wages, what you are getting divided by what actual hours you have worked. That is how you calculate effective hourly rate. Effective hourly rate means the actual hours which you have worked and the total wages you have received from the organization. So the effective hourly rate is 37.5. State what could have been his total earnings and effective hourly rate has Halsey incentive plan is used. So first you have to calculate for Rowan and then you have to calculate for Halsey. So just try this question. First calculate what he must have got under Rowan. All right. So this first we have to just clearly see whether everything is given or not. So rate per hour is given, standard time is given. That means time allowed is given. You have to see what all information is given. What see under bonus plan you need three information: time allowed, time taken, and rate per hour. I'm repeating. In every question of wages or employees or the bonus, you should have three information if you're calculating the bonus: time taken, time allowed, and rate per hour. So in this question, rate per hour is given, time allowed is given 4 hours, time taken is not given, and effectively hourly rate is given. So time taken is not given in the question, and time taken you can assume as X. All right. Now try to solve under row 1 scheme. Just do it. Just let me see how you can do it. See, hardly you will get any direct questions on the Halsey and Rowan. It's all application based questions. All right. So how the information is given and how you construct the question is important. Okay. Just try on your own. Try for 2 minutes for Rowan plan. I mean, how you calculate? Can you calculate the time taken? Time taken is missing. So we have to calculate time taken. Once we calculate time taken, only then we can calculate the hourly rate under Halsey. Just try on your own for once. Anybody who's able to start the question? All right. So let us just see. Let us say time taken is X. All right. So the wages are, if the time taken is X, so the wages are 30x. Clear? But there's an hourly rate also. So let me properly make this equation. 37.5 is the effective rate, hourly rate into X, time taken. Okay? Is equal to 30x. Time taken we don't know, and 30 is the rate per hour plus. So this 30x is the normal wage for time taken. Now the bonus. Bonus as per Rowan. Rowan means time taken. Rowan means time saved by time allowed. What is time saved? Time saved is time allowed minus time taken. So we know time allowed minus time taken we don't know, divided by time allowed, that we know. All right, into 30x. So this is the equation that will be formed. We have assumed time taken as X. So 37.5x is the effective hour rate, the final rate. So if we multiply it with, that means the total earnings is equal to 30x plus time allowed minus time taken divided by time allowed. So time allowed minus time taken is time saved. We don't know time saved. Why? Because we don't know time taken. So we have just placed 4 minus x into 30x. So this is how we calculate for row 1. All right. So just if you can solve it, then you can come to the conclusion, what is the value of X? Time taken is 3 hours. All right, Harshita, good that you have attempted. Any other answer? Shall we take time taken as 3 hours? You just have to solve it. Of course, you have to be little proficient in maths also, so that you know, because you have to solve equations in, whether it's costing or whether it's finance or whether it's accounts. We do form equations because many a times missing figure question comes in the exams. All right. So divide everything by X, and you can now will be able to cut both the sides by X. All right. Side left also and side right also. So we'll be able to cut wherever X is there. This is the way we do. And now I think you can calculate. I've done the half part of the equation. So it's just 37.5, 30 plus 4 minus x divided by 4 into 30. Now try to solve it. Let me also solve it for you so that let me see whether the answer is correct. Any other answer? Yes. Under Halsey earnings will be 105. Let us see. So X comes out to 3 hours. So X, when you solve it, X comes out to 3 hours. Time taken is 3 hours. Here, time taken is 3 hours. So now if you know time taken, then now you calculate the earnings under Halsey. You know the time taken. So what will be the earnings under Halsey? If you can solve, you know the time taken now, 3 hours. Let us say how you solve under Halsey. The rate per hour under Halsey is, it's 30 per hour. All right. So I'm calculating for Halsey now. You have calculated the missing figure, time taken as 3 hours. Under Halsey, 30 into 3. The time taken is 3. So this is the normal wage rate plus now the bonus. How much is the time saved? Time saved is 1. Time saved is 1. The time allowed is 4 hours and you have taken 3 hours. Time taken, which we assumed as X, is 3. So times taken is 1 hour. 1 hour into 50% into rate per hour, which is 30. So how much are the earnings under Halsey? 90 is the normal wage rate and plus 15. So yes, it comes out to 105. So 105 is the earnings under Halsey. 105 is the total earnings under Halsey. Total earnings. How much is the total earnings coming under Rowan? Total earnings coming under Rowan, 37.5 into 3. So 112.5. So how much is the, okay, effective hour late is 35. Total earnings under Halsey is 105. You have to calculate effective hours also. Divided by actual hours worked. How much are the actual hours worked? Come on, can you calculate? Actual hours worked is again 3 hours. Time taken. All right. So how we calculate effective hours? Effective hours means how we calculate effective hourly rate. Total wages you have received. Total wages is 105 under Halsey. Total wages is 105 under Halsey. Divided by actual hours worked. Actual hours worked are 3 hours. So the effective hourly rate under Halsey is 35 per hour. The effective hour rate under Rowan is 37.5 and the effective hour under Halsey is 35 per hour. How many of you are able to calculate 35 per hour? Any doubt in this question? So first we should have the complete information of time allowed, time taken and rate per hour. If you have all the three information, you can calculate the bonus under Halsey and Rowan. If you don't have any of this information, you have to assume as X or Y, and then you have to first calculate and you have the checklist of all three components. Then only you can approach the question, whatever is calculated, whatever is required in the question, you have to calculate. All right. So first we have calculated X. That means time taken, we don't know. So we have calculated time taken first on the basis of Rowan information, and then we have applied the same under Halsey information. All right. So this is how we done. I hope any other answers understood. Okay. I'm glad, Darshan, that you have understood. And again, I'm saying all of you must do the exercise under different combinations under Halsey and Rowan. Do come to some conclusion and then tell me what conclusion you have reached, because this is very, very important learning you will get and you will understand the Rowan and Halsey in a better way. All right. Is this clear to all of you? So hope you have understood and calculated. Okay. So 2-3 students have managed to calculate 35 per hour. Let us see if there's a proper okay, no, there's no solution here. There's a next topic. So shall we move on from this question? Have you understood, all of you? The final look of the question. All right. So let's move on. So next topic is absorption of wages. Absorption of wages exactly is what I was explaining you. whatever employer is incurring on the facilities given to the employee, everything should be part of the wage rate. Clear? Everything. For example, see, if I am paying the monetary, it includes the monetary also and more non-monetary also. We have to take non-monetary benefits also. So if the wages are 10,000. That means we are paying the wages in cash. So this 10,000 is an earning to the worker and also cost to the employer, plus medical facility. Employee is not getting anything in cash, but medical facility employer is, let us say for example, paying 5,000 for it. Educational facility, let us say employer is paying 2,000 for it. Recreation, the employer is paying 4,000 for it. Housing, the employer is paying 6,000 for it. And canteen employer is paying 1,000. Entire cost is, now this is cash and these are the benefits. All right, which you can call it as non-monetary. So earnings to the worker is only 10,000. Earnings to the worker, earnings to the employee. The employee will say, I am receiving 10,000 as salary. Employee will never say, I am receiving medical facility also, educational also, recreational also, housing also. Employee will never say that. Employee only says, I am only receiving 10,000 as salary. Who will work for 10,000? But see, whatever the employer is providing the facility to the employee, which is non-monetary, which is not paid in cash, but employer is paying for it. That is also part of employee cost to the employer. So the CTC, now just calculate the total of it. 10, 15, 17, 21, 27 and 28. 28,000. 10,000 are called the earnings to the worker. 10,000. Earnings are 10,000. But 28,000 is CTC, cost to the company, which is called as labor cost or employee cost. Clear? So labor cost is much more than the earnings to the worker. So whatever the employer is paying to the worker and for the worker, everything is part of cost to the company. Clear? So the wage rate, if we have to the wage rate, we have to calculate on the basis of 28,000 and not on the basis of 10,000. I am repeating. Every cost to the employer has to be absorbed in the wages rate. Every part, every cost which the employer is incurring for the employee has to be absorbed in the wage rate. So the wage rate will not be calculated by 10,000. Wage rate per hour has to be calculated taking in care of 28,000. Clear? That means the entire cost is to be absorbed in the employee cost. Because 10,000 is not employee cost, 28,000 is employee cost. All right. So this is very, very important concept in employee cost module. You need to understand this. All right. Okay, very good. I'm glad students you have understood. And this the absorption. Absorption means the entire cost should be absorbed in the wages rate. Whenever we calculate the wage rate per hour, the wage cost per worker, 28,000 we have to take, not 10,000, because the cost to the company is 28,000. So it includes cash also, in kind also, and non-monetary benefit also. So cash, kind, and benefit or facility, everything is part of the employee cost, which is much more than the earnings which we are paying to the workers. All right. So this is a very, very important concept you need to understand. Okay, here we can take, just I will be leaving you. Okay, so let me just explain you this and then we'll take a just 5-7 minutes of break. So the monetary part. So this slide tells you what are the monetary part. All right, non-monetary we have discussed here. These are all the non-monetary. Non-monetary means that these are giving as a facility to the employee, facility or the benefit. here. But these are the monetary. Monetary means which actual is paid in cash. Basic wages, DNS allowance, overtime, special allowance, production bonus, employer contribution to the provident fund, and then contribution to pension fund, holiday, leave pay, idle time, whatever is being paid to the employer. All right. So whatever contribution the employer is paying, everything is part of the worker's remuneration. All right. It's going in cash to the worker's account, which will be paid either now or later. All right. So these all are the monetary. So the part of employee cost is all monetary, non-monetary, kind, benefit, facility, everything is to be absorbed in the wages cost of to the employer. All right. Okay. So we have this one illustration. Please take a note of this illustration. We'll take a break of 5-7 minutes, then I'll come back. So till now, just practice this question if you are able to. Understand this question first. You have to calculate the wage rate per hour. Wage rate per hour means total wages divided by effective hours. Total wages divided by effective hours. That will give you wage rate per hour. So the first step is you have to calculate total wages. The second step is you have to calculate effective hours. All right. So, and then you will be coming out to wage rate per hour. So just practice this question. Try to solve it. I'll come back after a break of 5 to 7 minutes. Welcome back, students. Let's continue from where we left. I just told you to just try this illustration. Again, you have to calculate here wage rate per hour. So it has nothing to do with the earnings. Clear? It has to do with the labor cost or the employee cost. So first of all, I told you whenever we calculate labor cost or employee cost, the employer contribution is added. All right. And whenever we calculate earnings, we deduct employee contribution to PF or ESI or whatever fund. Clear? So here we have to calculate labor cost. So again, first of all, we need to calculate total wages. How we calculate total wages? Worker is paid 10,000 per month and DA of 2,000 per month. Clear? So we have to calculate per year. So it is basically 12,000 per month. So 1,44,000 basic plus DA. Okay, basic plus DA, 1,44,000 total. So this is the total cash which will be paid to the employee also. Worker contribution to Provident Fund is 10%. So employee contribution 10%. Employer also contributing the same. So plus 10%. PF contribution plus 10% PF, employer PF contribution, employer contribution we always add. Clear? So 14,400 employer contribution we have to add. Employee state insurance premium is 6.5 of wages, of which 1.75 is paid by employee. So how much is paid by employer? And it is a firm practice to pay 2 months wages as bonus each year. So bonus is also there. So first you have to take the ESI contribution. ESI will be plus. You have to tell me how much ESI in percentage and plus bonus. So bonus they are saying 2 months wages. So 2 months wages, 1 month wages, 10,000 plus 2,000 wages, total wages they are saying. Clear? Wages means with earnings. Wages means earnings, not cost. So wages, 2 month wages. So 1 month wages is 12,000. 2 month wages is 24,000. So bonus is 24,000. 2 months wages. Wages is which is actually paid to the labor or the worker. So we are paying 12,000 per month to the worker. So bonus is 2 months of wages. So 24,000. ESI percentage you have to give me. What percentage I have to add here? Or other pays this to employee. Bhumika, you don't know about DA? DA is dearness allowance. Dearness. What do you understand by dearness? Dearness, English meaning of dearness is expensive or costly. Okay, something I want to buy from the market. Or normally we say it's very expensive, very costly, but otherwise there's also a term which we can say it's very dear. It's very dear means it's very costly. Clear? So dearness allowance means it is given to compensate the higher cost of living, the inflation. See, inflation is increasing every, every 6 months, or we just monitor the inflation. Prices are rising. So now we cannot have the salary increase every time. So the government increases the DA. Dearness allowance. Dearness allowance means the costly allowance or the inflation allowance. So whatever the prices are rising, to compensate the high prices, the employee is being given the dearness allowance so that it can counter the inflation effect. So salary remains to be 10,000, but dearness allowance keeps on increasing. So dearness allowance is basically to give you relief against the inflation or high prices in the market. All right, that is dearness allowance. So ESI, can anybody tell me what is the percentage of ESI I should add? What is the employer contribution of ESI? Can anybody tell me the percentage of employer contribution? Yes, it's 4.75. PF is calculated, PF normally is calculated on basic and DA. Again, it is on the basis of the question. If nothing is mentioned in the question, you can add PF on basic and DA. But in some questions, it's categorically mentioned PF is to be calculated on basic wages. If it's given like that, you calculate on basic wages. But if nothing is given, you can calculate PF or ESI contribution on basic plus DA. All right. So in this question, nothing is mentioned. So we have taken as basic and DA. And students, is always better make it a habit to write assumptions as much as possible. So write in assumptions, we are assuming that PF contribution is made on the total of basic plus DA. Always write assumptions, always use assumptions in exams. Whenever you have certain doubt, so even if things are clear, you can mention as an assumption so that the examiner knows that, okay, you know the concept of it. So if nothing is mentioned, it's safe to add PF and ESI to basic wages plus DA. All right. I hope that clears your query. So ESI total is 6.5 and employee is paying 1.5. So the employer is paying 4.75%. So 4.75% on 144,000. So how much is the amount of ESI? Nobody has given me the amount of ESI. 1,44,000 into 4.75. Okay, it's 6840. 6840 is the ESI contribution. So this, I believe, is the total labor cost. So basic wages plus DA. PF contribution we have added because we are calculating employee cost. ESI contribution we are adding and the bonus. Clear? So the total wages. Can anybody tell me the total wages? Okay. 1,89240, 1,89240 total wages, 1,89240 total wages. So we have calculated total wages. Now effective hours. Effective hours are, let us see the last paragraph. 300 days in a year of 8 hours each. 300 days in a year, 8 hours each. Out of these, the worker is entitled to 15 days leave. So basically, that is the normal time which the paid leave time. Clear? So the effective days, effective hours means actual hours worked. Actual hours worked. So 300 minus 15. 15 days is leave on full pay. So we have to absorb it in the cost only. So 285 days were the effective days worked. Effective days worked means actual days worked are 285. 285 days in a year into 8 hours each. 285 days in a year into 8 hours each come to 2280 hours because we have to calculate wage rate per hour. So we need the denominator in hours, not days. If they have said calculate wage rate per day, had it been per day, we should have been calculated 189,240 divided by effective days. So, but they are asking per hour. So, per hour, that means the denominator should be in hours. All right. So, per day, if it's per day, 285. If the question asks you per hour, then it should be in hours. So, 2280 effective hours, that means actual hours worked. So, can you tell me the wage rate per hour? Anybody calculated the wage rate per hour? Again, Suraj, it depends upon. I mean, what is the number of the marks of the question? And that is again, you solve the RTPs, you solve the last year papers, you will get an idea which question can come for which marks. But again, nothing is fixed. All right. So this type of question comes for how much marks? I mean, it's better you just practice the questions. You will get an idea what is the requirement of every question. All right. Okay, so shall I take 83 as the answer? 664 is what? 83, 189. So shall I also calculate 189,240 divided by 2280. Yes, it's coming to 83. 83 is the answer. 83 per hour. All right. 83 per hour is the answer. I don't know what Jagat has calculated to 664. Must be per day. So 83, yes, 83 is the answer. So just have a final look of this question. Can we have a solution? Okay, so we have the solution also. Just take a look of the final solution. These are the total wages. Basic plus DA. Basic plus DA. We add the employer contribution of PF and ESI. We always add it. So effective days and effective hours. Yeah, that was I was wondering. So 664 is effective day per day. So if the question asks you what is the wage rate per day, it will be 285. Okay, and if it is per hour, then it has to be 2280 hours. So depends upon what the question is asking from you. All right. So 664 per day and 83 per hour. So this is how we calculate. So I hope you must have understood this question. Is modules is sufficient to pass exam? Just employee cost you will do to pass the CA exam of cost and management accounting. Students, this see, one aspect is to clear the exam, of course, and the other aspect is to get the learning. See, it's not a graduation exam or any other academic qualification which you are just passing the exam for the sake of getting a degree. Of course, it's the main objective, but the other a bigger objective is every concept you have to apply when you become a chartered accountant. So if you will do just one module to pass the exam, how will you advise and give consultancy to anybody when you don't know the rest of the modules after you qualify? All right. So this is one course where please do not think that how much we need to study to just pass the exam. Every concept, every unit, every module is important. Not just to qualify, but to practice after that and to apply everything. All right. So this gives you a basic understanding. So how much marks is going to come? What is theory? What is practical? Just think above it. All right. So just get the skin of this course. This course is not only a degree, it's a culture, it's a tradition, it's basically what runs the economy, right? So just try to understand every bit of it, every fundamental which is a part of this course. Everything is important. All right, let's move on. I hope you must be clear in this. Okay, so moving on to the employee turnover. Employee turnover means we change the composition of employee. Composition, you can say number of employees. So it keeps on changing. So we have 100 employees, then we come to 120, or we then go down to 80. So why the numbers are changing? Why there is a shift in the number or the composition of employees? What are the reasons for employee turnover? And these days, in many organizations, employee turnover is a big concern for worry. All right. Because the employees generally, shift from one organization to another. And if it's a very frequent change in the compensation, that means the organization has to think why the employees are more employees are leaving. See, when an old employee who's working in the organization for so many years leaves the organization, it does cost to the organization a lot, because the employee who has left, he knew the system, how the system works. He was very efficient. He was contributing to the production. He was contributing to the revenue, and then now he has left. So a new person who will join, he will not be that efficient in the beginning. So during that time that he gets used to the system, you will lose the revenue to some extent. You will lose the production because that new person will understand. And then you have to give the new person the training also. That also carries a cost. So there are many costs which the organization has to bear because of employee turnover. Higher the employee turnover, it's very unfavorable to any organization, because it increases the cost to a greater extent. All right. So employee turnover is the change in the composition or the workforce during a specified time. Replacement means actual replacement irrespective of the persons leaving the organization. Replacement means one person has, let us say, two persons have joined. You need to understand what you mean by replacement. Two persons have joined and one person has left. So the replacement is one only. So there were, one vacancy. One has joined. So there is one vacancy and two have joined. So one has joined in place of this and this one is new joining. Clear? So that means this one is replacement. Replacement is when a person has left and another person has joined. That is replacement. If let us say there is no vacancy and another person has joined, that is not replacement. That is a new joinee. All right. Replacement happens only when there is a vacancy because one person has left and then we have appointed another one to replace the person who has left. But if nobody has left and then one person has joined, that is not replacement. So replacement is number of employees who have replaced. That means replaced in place of the person who has left. That is replacement. New employees appointed on account of expansion are not replacements. They are just new joinees, new post. Clear? So that is additional recruitment, not replacement. I hope you have understood this. Suraj, I know question has not asked 285 days. I just told you. Let us say the question has asked you per day. Then how will you calculate? So I just explained you like that. All right. So we have calculated per day in addition to this. So you have to be very, very attentive. Question has not asked per day, but I have told you had the question asked per, it has asked per hour only. But had the question asked per day, then how would you calculate? All right. For that reason, I told you for this also. Now it's clear? Okay. So be attentive when I'm explaining something. All right. Okay, so you understood number of employees replaced during the period, average number of employees during the period. Average number means opening replacement, opening employee number plus closing number of employees divided by 2. So average number of employees during the period means, let us say we are taking a period of April. How many persons replaced in April? So average number of employees in April means employees on 1st April plus employees on 30th April. So first day of that month and last day of the month divided by 2. That is average. So if we are taking the information for 1 month, first day of the month, last day of the month. If we are taking the information for the whole year, first day of the year, last day of the year, all right, divided by 2. So that is the average you calculate. I hope this you have understood. Suraj, I've just explained you why we have taken 285 days. I've explained you 1 and 2 times. Please be attentive. Moving on to separation method. In this method, employee turnover is measured by number of employees separated. Separated means left. Number of employees who have left divided by average number of employees during the period on roll. So let me give you one example. Just calculate. Employees left is 100. Okay. Then in April or okay, let us say in April. 1st April, the number of employee is 300. And then on 30th, the number of employees is 200. Now, can you calculate the turnover ratio? As per this example, employees left are 100. On 1st April, the employee was 300. On 30th April, the employee are 200. So how much is the separation method? And in the second case, you can take 400 and 500 also. Okay. So these are different combinations you can use and you can calculate the ratio. So that is separation method. Number of employees separated. That means those who have left during that period, whether it's month or whether it's year, divided by average number of employees during that period, divided by 2. So it's opening plus closing divided by 2. Simple average you have to take. That you have to calculate the average. 40%, great. All right. So 0.4, Vikas Kumar, it's always into 100. So denoted by percentage. Clear? So you have to denote the answer in percentage. So that is separation method. Let's move on to flux method. Flux method is we take employees separated and replaced, both. So number of employees separated and number of employees replaced. Replaced again means those who have left. Then we have recruited in place of those who have left, divided by average number of employees during that period. So that is flux. Flux method can be calculated in 2 ways. This is the number 1 way, where we have taken separation and replacement. And second is separations plus replacements plus new joinees. New joinees means not replaced but new joinees divided by average number of employees. So this is the second method, separation plus replacement plus new joinees. So there is a difference between replacement and new joinees. So together they called as accessions. Accessions means total new joinees, total number who joined. So replaced plus new joinees. So total number of accessions. So separations plus replacement plus new joinees. Replacement plus new joinees we call as accessions. Clear? Divided by average number, of course, into 100. So this is the flux method where we take a combined number. How many have left, how many have replaced, and how many have joined. Okay, good. So yes, this is the another method I told you just now. Total number of workers joining, including replacement, is called as accession. So this is the second method. Separations, replacement plus new joinees, and replacement and new joinees are called as accessions. Total workers who are joining. Clear? So total workers who are joining are called as accessions, maybe due to replacement or new joinees, new positions into 100. So this some better we calculate under flux method under this the second way of doing it. All right. So this is the flux method. So I hope you have noted down. Okay, let's move on. So do we have some? Okay. So we have the causes of employee turnover. Again, a very general thing to understand. The personal causes, unavoidable causes, and avoidable causes. Personal causes, why we leave an organization. Maybe, we are, our spouses are getting transferred, or we have some health problems, or we have some family problems, or whatever. I mean, these are personal causes. So company cannot do much in it. All right. For causes means we have to classify the reason why the employees are leaving. The reason are important because based on the reason, the management will decide how to control. Management can control the turnover of employees only when the reasons are controllable. Personal causes, management can't do anything if the employees are leaving due to their personal reasons. Management can't do anything in it. All right. Unavoidable causes, where let us say the management is asking the employee to leave. For example, during COVID time, or you hear the stories of a recession in IT industry. Many employees are asked to leave or to resign. Unavoidable causes. Basically, probably, the market is not there. The business is not flourishing. The suppliers are not there. We don't have money. We can't run the business. Business is going down. We have a lot of employees. We don't require these number of employees. So unavoidable. Avoidable causes are the causes where the management have some control and management can reduce labor turnover. Avoidable causes means the salary is less. I don't want to work here. So the management can increase the salary, give more incentives. The employee is saying that I don't like my superior or my senior or my boss is is not happy with me, or always shouts at me. So then the management have some control. So management can control the labor turnover when the reasons are avoidable or controllable. But when the reasons are uncontrollable, the personal reasons, or there is no business, then of course management can't do much in it. So, but management can control the labor turnover when the employee needs promotion or salary hike, or relations are with the bosses are not good, or the employee is not happy with the job profile. All right, the employee wants some challenging work and the work is very boring. So in these things management can control. In these things management can help the employee to stay in the organization and not to leave. All right. So effects of labor turnover, I told you there are many. Whenever any employee leaves the organization, there is a cost to the organization. So the production flow is disturbed. New workers' efficiency will be low initially. They will not start working. They cannot give their best in the initial days of when they join. They need to understand the system also. There's increased cost of training and induction. The new employees joining you have to give them training first. New workers cause increased breakage of tools. They don't know how to work. So, there will be more loss or damage to the property also. Cost of recruitment and training, of course. So, there are two causes. There are two costs which the management or company has to bear. Preventive cost and replacement cost. Preventive cost means you prevent the employees to leave. You try that employees should not leave. You try to make them happy. How you will make them happy? You will increase their salary. You will give them facility. Let us say female employees are leaving because you don't have a creche facility. They have small children. They cannot they cannot come for work because they have small children. There is nobody to take care of them. You build a creche facility. You build a daycare facility. Then you give facility. So it carries a cost, so that female employees should not leave. So you give them recreation facility. You give them bus facility. Let us say there is no transport facility available from their place to your company. You give them bus facility. So again, it carries a cost to the employer. But yes, you can retain the employees. The employees will stay with you if you give them facilities. So preventive cost means you incur the cost so that employees are happy in your company. Replacement cost means the employees have left. Then what is the cost you are bearing? The replacement cost means new employees are replacing. So you will give them training, you will give them new, the production will be less. Then again, it's a cost to the company. The production cost per unit will increase for the company. So there is preventive cost and there are replacement cost. It's always the cost will be high if the labor turnover is high. That is for sure. All right. So there are many costs which are preventive and which are replacement. But preventive cost will help the organization that employees will be happy in the company and they will not leave. Replacement cost are they have already left. New employees are joining, and then you have to bear the cost of recruitment also, selection also, training also, loss of production also, damage also to the property and everything. So these are the two category of cost which can be incurred, which actually the company bears when the employee turnover is high. All right. Okay, so we have this illustration probably on employee turnover. Just have a note of this illustration, then we'll do. Darshan, I told you we should use number of separations plus number of replacements plus number of new joinees, or number of separations plus number of accessions. You should use the second method. Number of separations plus number of accessions. Accessions means you should include replacements also and new joinees also. Clear? New joinee we include in labor turnover. Why we include new joinee, Anupam, in labor turnover? Are those new joinees not leading to the cost to the organization? These new joinees are increasing the cost. What cost the new joinees are increasing? Because of new joinees, the cost of recruitment, selection, training, development, loss of production in the initial days, they are damaging the tools also because they don't know how to use them. So the new joinees are actually, they are also leading to the increase in cost. You are giving training to new joinees also because of, let's just say, the expansion plan or whatever. So whosoever is joining the organization, whether as a replacement or as a new joinee, is adding to the cost of employee turnover. Clear? Employee turnover does not mean only those who are leaving. Employee turnover means change in the number of the total composition. All right. So every employee which is leaving, every employee which is adding to the number of employees leads to an increase in cost. That's why we include all the three: separation, replacements, and new inductions also in labor turnover, because they also contribute in changing the composition of employees. All right. So I hope your query is answered. Varsha, you just go through the study material. I don't know which page number we are doing. I'm not referring the study material here. So I've included questions from everywhere, not only the study material. All right. So this is the question on the labor turnover. Let us try to understand the question. The management of BR Limited is worried about increasing employee turnover and analyzing the causes and taking remedial steps. It wants to have an idea of the profit foregone as a result of employee turnover in lab. Foregone means the loss of profit, the profit which we have lost. Last year sales amounted to this. PV ratio 20%. PV ratio, PV ratio is called as contribution. You will understand this concept in marginal costing. Contribution is basically when we deduct the cost, variable cost, we get contribution. So this is a marginal costing concept. You will understand in future units. We have a unit in marginal costing, but for the time being, you can consider contribution or you can take it as profit also. Clear? For the time being. Although contribution means we just, surplus of sales over variable cost. So the total number of actual hours worked, 4.45 lakhs. Actual hours worked. The actual direct employee hours included 30,000 hours attributable to training new recruits, out of which half of were unproductive. So we have to calculate effective productive hours. Effective. So total hours are 4.45. And out of this, 30 hours were attributable to training, half of which are unproductive. So productive hours are 0.15. You just deduct. So 4.30. Or you can let me write it in full form so that you understand better. All right. So 4,45,000 total hours less 15,000 unproductive hours. So total productive hours are 4,30,000. Yeah. Actual hours worked for 4,45,000. And actual direct hours included 30,000, which are training new recruits, but which were half of them were unproductive. So actual productive hours for training also we have included. So 4,30,000 productive hours we have to take. Productive hours. As a result, the delays in the personnel department filling vacancies, 1 lakh potential productive hours, excluding unproductive training hours, were lost. All right. So in addition, 1 lakh hours were lost because of, they delayed the replacement procedure. The cost incurred, now this consequent cost. So these are the additional costs due to labor turnover. These are the additional costs. Assuming that potential production lost as a consequence of this could have been sold at prevailing prices. So they are saying, had these hours not lost, they would have contributed to sales. All right. How many hours are lost? First, let us calculate how many hours are lost. Now, how many hours are lost? 1 lakh hours. First of all, 1 lakh hours are lost. These 1 lakh hours, it was lost. Then these 15,000 hours are lost. So 1,15,000 hours are lost because of employee turnover, and they must have given, contribution to sales. 1,15,000 hours have been lost due to employee turnover. Had they been not lost, they would have increased the sales of the organization. Clear? So that means, I'm just writing it over here. That means 83 lakh 3,300 sales are due to 4 lakh 30,000 productive hours. Productive hours are 4 lakh 30,000 productive hours. So this sales is due to 4 lakh 30,000 hours. How much is the sales had these hours not lost? 1 lakh 15,000 unproductive hours they have lost, and we have lost the sales due to these unproductive hours. So if 83 lakh sales is because of 4 lakh 30,000 hours, how much is the sales if these hours were not lost? All right. So we need the sales which we say employee turnover could have been sold at prevailing prices. We want to calculate the sales which could have happened if these unproductive hours were not lost. Clear? So how much is the sales that we have lost due to 1,15,000 hours? So how we calculate? 83 lakh sales is because of 4,30,000 productive hours. All right. So how much is the sales if 1,15,000 hours are not lost? All right. So just calculate 83,03,300. 83,03,300. Okay. Divided by 4,30,000 into 1,15,000. So 2,20,000. 22,20,000. 650 of sales we have lost. So had 1,15,000 hours not lost, they would have contributed to 22,20,650 more of sales. So this sales we have lost. This sales we have lost because 1,15,000 hours got unproductive. So these sales must have contributed 20% of profit. All right. This sales must have contributed to 20% of profit. So 22,20,650 sales must have contributed 20% of the profit. How much profit we have lost? 4,44,130 profit we have lost. Profit means contribution, you can understand here. 4,44,000 is the profit lost because we have lost sales of this much, because we have lost 1,15,000 hours due to labor turnover. All right. So this is the additional cost. So this is the cost plus 4,44,130. So the total cost left if lost is this plus this plus this plus this and plus this. This is the total cost due to labor turnover. These are the direct cost, and then this is the indirect cost because we have lost 1,15,000 unproductive hours. Okay, you have done, yes, you have, if you have done PV ratio in financial management, then you must be knowing PV ratio is profit volume ratio, which we called as contribution. Contribution is the surplus of sales over variable cost. All right. So again, we always look for contribution rather than profit because profit includes fixed cost also. All right. Yes, understood. Good. So this is the sales. 22,20,650 is the sales we have lost. From those sales, if these sales would have done, we would have earned 20% as contribution. So we have lost 20% contribution on this sales. So loss is 4,44,130. All right. Loss is 4,44,130 is the loss. Let me see if we have a proper presentation of the solution. Yes. So these are the total hours. These are the unproductive hours. And total productive hours this. So these productive hours have contributed to sale of this. All right. These hours have contributed to this sales. So these hours are lost. And due to this, 22,20,650 sales are also lost. All right. So these hours we have lost, and due to which 22,20,650 sales also we have lost. And because of these sales, 4,44,000, how much was that? 130 profit also we lost. All right. So this is actual loss due to the loss of the sales. So these hours have contributed to this sales. These hours we have lost this much sales due to unproductive hours, and due to these the sales which we have lost the profit on it 20%. So this is the actual loss. All right. So this is how we have done. So this is the sales how we calculated, and this is the profit lost, contribution lost. Clear? So this is loss and these are the fixed costs. So this is the total profit foregone because of employee turnover. All right. So again, a very good question to understand the concept of employee turnover and the impact of employee turnover. Okay, good that you have understood. Hope students, there is no doubt in this question. Yes, 557, 930, perfect. So, Maheshwar, you have understood. Yes, Rishita's also have calculated. So, this is the total profit you have lost or you have foregone. Just take a final note of this question. Shall we move on? Yeah. Total loss. I hope all of you are doing it again and again. Do along with me the question. I'm going very slow so that you solve it also. Okay. So let's move on. Okay, we have another question here. See, I've taken questions from everywhere. From must be a question from RTP or last year examinations. A good question to understand Rowan and Halsey. All right. So this question is on premium bonus system, Rowan and Halsey. Just read the question very, very properly. A very good question to understand the concept. So this company operates a boutique which works for various fashion houses and retail stores. It has employed 26 workers and pays them on time rate base. On an average, an employee is allowed 8 hours for boutique work on a piece of garment. That means one garment takes 8 hours to prepare, to make or to stitch or whatever. All right. In the month of December, 2 workers, M&J, were given 15 pieces and 21 pieces. So they were given the job of 15 pieces to stitch and 21 pieces respectively. And one piece takes 8 hours. So that is the standard time. Time allowed. All right. Time allowed 8 hours per garment. All right. And they have been given 15 and 21 garments. So 15 into 8 and 21 into 8. This will be the time allowed. Can you calculate first? Let us step by step go to the question. 120 hours and 21 into 8, 168 hours. All right. So this is the time allowed. Okay, now the details for their work, basically what is the wage rate? Workers are paid as per Halsey system, 50% plan. The existing rate of wages is 60 per hour. So wage rate we have, standard time we have. As per the new wage rate agreement, the workers will be paid 72 per hour with effect from 1st January next year. All right, 1st January 2022. So it must be 21 here. At the end of month of December 21, the accountant of the company has wrongly calculated at the rate of 72. Okay. So the accountant has calculated the wages as per 72 per hour, but 72 per hour was to be applied from next month, that is January. For December, the rate was 60 per hour, but the accountant has calculated the wages as per the rate of January, which is 12 rupees higher than the December rate. So work assigned 15 and 21 pieces. Time taken also we have. So time taken we have and time allowed we have. So let me write it over here only. Time allowed 120 and 168, and this is time taken. All right. So I can write time saved also here. So time saved is 20 hours for M and 28 hours for J. You need to understand the question, what exactly is there. So we have time allowed, we have time saved, we have time taken, we have rate per hour. But what happen is calculate the loss incurred due to incorrect rate selection. So you have to calculate the wage. First of all, what is the loss? It should have been calculated as per 60 per hour, but the accountant has calculated the wages as per 72 per hour. So students, there is two ways of doing it. First you calculate as per 72, then you calculate as per 60, and then you take the difference and you will calculate the loss. Or the second way, the excess amount, the excess rate charged is 12 rupees. So you can directly calculate with the difference of 12 per hour also. It will directly give you the loss incurred. All right. So you can directly calculate as per the difference of 12 per hour also. Himanshu, I'll just get back to this question, but I don't understand what you're asking exactly. Let me just focus on the question first. So just you try the from the difference, the incremental, all right, the wrong amount which we have taken. So just try and calculate the earnings as per Halsey system, but take the difference. So you can do it both ways. First, the first way is you calculate as per 60 and as per 72, then find the difference, the excess wage rate paid. Or second way is to just calculate out of the difference of 12 per hour. So calculate everything as per 12 per hour, which is that means the excess rate charged. And you will directly calculate the loss or the excess paid. All right. So calculate under Halsey and just let me know. I'm just forming this thing for you. So if I'm taking 12 per hour and we are using Halsey, all right. So Halsey, if I'm taking incremental, 12 rupees he has charged here extra. 12 into time taken. Time taken is 100. As per M, I'm doing it for M first. Plus, we are following Halsey system. Halsey system is how much is time saved? 50% of time saved. Time saved is 20 into rate per hour is again 12. I'm taking the incremental part. Same way you can do for J. For J, the time, again the rate is 12 into time taken is 140 plus 50% of time saved 28 or 50% into rate. Again, you take it as 12. Again, you take it as 12. Don't know why it's okay. Let me write it over here. So it's 12, right? Now please calculate. What are the loss you incur because you're using Halsey and the incremental 12 rupees. So I'm using the second way of doing it. I'm using the excess rate charged only directly 12 rupees. All right. Okay. 1320 and 1848. Great. So 1320, 1320 and 1848 comes under Halsey. Now calculate the loss incurred due to incorrect rate selection had Rowan form. So had Rowan scheme is applied, then calculate what is the loss. So now try under Rowan and take the same 12 into 100 plus
Follow the Rowan system now. Time saved by time allowed into 12 into 100. All right. Similarly, 12 into 140. And now I'm following the Rowan system. Had Rowan system is followed. Plus time saved is 28 by time allowed is 168 into 12 into 140. All right. Now please calculate what is the loss incurred due to Rowan. Yes, very good. Its total is coming 1320 and 1848. 1320, 1848. Now calculate it under the Rowan. I have just structured it. You just have to calculate and do it on your own also. Form this on your own also so that you understand. Okay, Himanshu, let me just understand what you're asking. Training productive hours is taken for contribution in sales, while training no production is done. Himanshu, I told you in the last session also, I don't know whether you attended that session or not. One thing is the concept, another is what question is asking. You have to solve the question based on the information given in the question. The question says training hours, half of the training or whatever training hours are to be taken as productive. If the question is mentioning that you have to take it productive, where does the question arise? You have to do it accordingly. All right. I understand during the training there is no production, but the question is saying out of 30,000 hours used for training, half of them are unproductive. You have to take the other half as productive. All right. So please refer to the question. You have to solve the question based on the information given in the question. If the question says it's productive, whatever is the productive in the question, you have to take it productive. Don't question the question. All right. So I hope your query is answered. Do as per the information given in the question. Do whatever is asked in the question. You have to follow that, whether you agree to it or not. All right. So if something is given categorically in the question, you have to take it that way. So can I have the answers for Rowan plan? Rowan plan 1400 and 1960. Any other answer? Shall I take it as 1400 and 1960? Any other answer anybody has calculated for Rowan? Any other student? Okay, 1400. 1400 is for M. So I'm taking 1400. I hope it's correct or shall I calculate? 1960. Shall I take 1400 and 1960 under Rowan? Any other answer or shall I take this as answer? Okay, so one more student, 1400, 1960. Let us take this as answer. So under Helze, the excess wage paid is 13202M and 18482J. That is the excess wage paid because you should have taken 60 as the rate per hour, but you have taken 72 as the rate per hour. So the accountant has paid in excess. So that is the loss to the company. So if we are using Helze, the loss will be 1320 and 1848 respectively. If we are using Rowan, the loss is 1400 and 1960 respectively. All right, great. So I think you have understood what the question is asking. Calculate the loss of savings if Rowan system payment has followed. So loss or savings, that means they are asking what is the loss if Rowan is scheme is followed. All right. That means the excess. So how much is the excess if Rowan is followed? How much is the excess? 1400 minus 1320. So if we are following Rowan system, the excess loss is 80. If we are following the Rowan system. And here 1960 minus 1848 and 112 under the J. All right. So if you are following Rowan system, 80 is the excess loss due to Rowan. And here in case of J, it is 112. So that is the excess loss, the part number 3. Calculate the loss of savings if Rowan scheme of bonus had followed. So if Helze had followed, we have paid excess this. If row 1 has followed, we have paid excess this. So how much excess we will pay if row 1 had been followed? So 80 and 112. All right. The difference between both the methods, basically, they are asking. All right. So this is the question. Yes, excess loss 80 and 112. Okay, so we have the solution also. You can see the presentation. So this is the number of garments allowed per hour, total hours. Okay, 15 into 8 and 21 into 8. So this is as per Helze. This is the total loss under Helze we have done. Okay, moving further under Rowan. This is the total excess wage paid under the Rowan scheme. And then if Rowan is followed, this is the excess. All right. So the total loss to the company had Rowan system being followed is 80 for M, 112 for J, and the total 192. So I think you can have the efficiency rating. Efficiency rating is basically how much efficient you are. All right. So how much time you have taken in relation to the standard time. That is efficiency rating. So that you calculate as a percentage. So that will make you clear how much efficient you are, how much you are producing. It can be calculated on the basis of time also and output also. Who has asked this? Darshan. It's on the basis of time also and output also. So how much you are taking the time. Let us say the time allowed is 10 hours and you have taken only 4 hours. So of course you are more efficient. If the time allowed is 10 hours and you have taken 13 hours, that means your efficiency is less than 100% if I put it that way. And if you have taken less than this, then your efficiency is higher. So it will be more than 100%. So it can be used as per the time and output. Output is if the standard output produced should be 10 units and you have produced 15 units. So you are more efficient. Clear? But if you have produced 8 units, you are less efficient. So efficiency ratings are basically how efficient you are or your output is or your work is. All right. That is efficiency rating procedures. So I hope you have understood this question which we were doing. Okay, so we have another question. Again, a very good question to understand. This is employee turnover question. Employee turnover, they have used the flux method. The personnel department has calculated labor turnover rate under flux method, and following is the data provided by personnel department from the last year. Just have a take a note of this question. A very good question again. Take a note of this question. Understand the question, please. Okay. Have you taken the note of this question? These PPTs, I think they hope they are getting uploaded also. I didn't check, but I guess the technical team uploads the PPT after the session. So it will be uploaded shortly. All right. So this question we have at the beginning. We have employees who have joined. We have employees who have left. And then at the end of the period. All right. So at the beginning and at the end. So how we calculate average? Beginning, end, divide by 2. Clear? So that is how we calculate average. Number of employees joined by average number. Now joined means both. Joined includes both. Joined means accessions here. Accessions means both replacements and new additions. So joined means both. But we have to split the joined. Who have how many are replaced and how many are actually new joinees. And left means separated. Clear? So we can use a separation turnover. Number of left divided by average number. We have to split the joint between replacement and new. So number of replacement divided by average number, and total number of accessions also, and then the flux method. But you can see in the question many things are missing in the question. So now these questions you have to approach what all is given in the question. All right. So these are some categories of employees here. These are basically the employees from here till here. This is the additional information they are giving. Additional information. All right. So the number of employees are this only. All right. So they have the subsidiary company and they are saying senior staff attorney joined. Senior staff attorney transferred from the subsidiary company. So HR Limited is progressing on a training, Mr. S. All right. So the thing is they are saying that this is the main company and 12 senior staff and 39 senior records. They are also showing on the joint. They are actually not newly recruited, but they have been transferred from subsidiary company. Clear? Employees transferred to the subsidiary company. So they have shown in under left. They have shown under left. Left means they have been shifted to the subsidiary company. That's why they have been shown as left here. All right. So let us put it over here. Litigation attorney. Okay. Senior staff attorneys. Senior staff attorney. 12 have joined from the subsidiary company. So I'm writing it over here. So senior staff attorney 12 have joined from the subsidiary company. So I have written under joined. All right. The joined is missing. So I have written under joined. So see, if 6 were the opening, 12 have been transferred from subsidiary company and the closing comes to 18. So this way you have to understand this question. Clear? So I have written 12 here. So this is done. Senior record 39 have joined from the subsidiary. So I'm shifting this to here. Senior records, I'm shifting it to here. All right. Because they have joined from the subsidiary company, not as a recruitment. All right. So I have transferred. So we have done this also. Now you can see 12 were opening, 39 have joined from the subsidiary. So the total is 51 now. All right. So we have calculated the total now. So this is done. For senior staff attorney, 12 and 39 have been transferred from subsidiary company. So I've shifted the number to the original format above. Okay. I hope this much you have understood. Komal, you don't have to leave any question, whether it's inside the study material, whether it's given under as the last of every module, or whether it's RTP, or whether it's last year questions. Every question is important. Everything given in the study material, everything given as part of your board of studies, whatever material the board of studies issues, every material is important. All right. Okay, so moving again to the question, I hope senior staff and senior records, this is clear to you. Let us just settle this. Employees transfer to the subsidiary company. That means they must have left from this holding company. So 90 have left from this company and joined subsidiary. So left, 90 have been left. Clear? So I've shown 90 as left and no else is joined. So must be 90 here. And left is 90. Left means they have transferred to the subsidiary company. So the balance is nil. Clear? So it means that 90 have been transferred to subsidiary company. Left means they have been transferred to subsidiary company. So I have written the amount in left, the figure in left. All right. That means must be 90 in the beginning and the entire litigation attorney has been shifted subsidiary, so nil is left. Now coming to associate attorney, 15 have left. That means 15 have been transferred to the subsidiary company. 15 have been transferred to the subsidiary company. and left is 19. At the end of the year, the number is 45. We are just trying to figure out the missing figure. That means 45 at the end, 15 have left, 30 have joined. So initial it has to be 30. So 30 plus 30, 60 minus 15 is 45. So this also we have taken care of. All right. So first we have calculated what we can calculate the missing figure, whatever information is given. Clear? So this is done. Associate attorney is done, senior staff is done, senior record is done, litigation is done. All right. We can calculate human resource. Three figures are given. Can you calculate the beginning? 60 at the end, 90 left, 30 joined. How much must be in the beginning? Can you calculate for HRM? Good. Can you calculate for HRM? I've explained you the transfer from subsidiary to the company and two. All right. So two have joined from subsidiary and two have left to the subsidiary. So I've just put it the figures and accordingly I have calculated the missing figure also. Now anybody can calculate HRM 120, 150. Is it 120 or 150? Be very careful. See at the beginning plus joined minus left. You will have the closing. So here the closing is 60, left is 90, joined is 30. Joined is 30. So, okay, joined, let me just write it over here. The space is less. Joined is 30. So how much is beginning? So move from bottom to up. 60 plus 90 minus 30. How much it comes out to be HRM? Again, 180, 150, 120. It has to be 120. So 120 plus 30 is 150. 150 minus 90 is 60. So it has to be 120, not 180 or 150. All right. It should be 120. So we have with us, this is complete. This is complete. Legal secretary, attorney, we have to do it. There's another part of the question. We'll proceed to that. All this is done. And this we have taken care of. All right. So we need to know there's two more. So let us move to the C. With only this information, we have managed to calculate many missing figures. Now let us move to the second part of the question. At the beginning of the year, there were 1158 employees. All right, beginning. That means total employees. 1158. At the beginning, the total is given. 1158. The opening strength of legal staff and associate were in 3:3:2. They have given the information how we can calculate the rest of the missing. Legal secretary, staff attorney, and associate attorney, the beginning, the opening number are in the ratio of 3:3:2. Legal staff and associate. Legal staff and associate, they share the ratio 3:3:2. Legal staff and associate. So associate we have 30. If associate is 30, can you find out legal and staff on the basis of this ratio? Associate we know as 30. The total we also know. Can you calculate for legal and staff? 30 is what? Can you calculate for legal and staff? The ratio they share, legal, staff and associate, the ratio they share is 3:3:2. And for associate, we know it's 30. Can you find out the balance of legal and staff? So 30. So if 30 is 2:10, how much is the total? 10:2. Clear? 30 is 2:10. You can see here. 30 has to be 2:10. So how much is the total? 30 into 10 divided by 2. So total is 150. Out of 150, 30 belongs to associate. So the balance is 120. Now this 120 you have to divide in the ratio of legal to staff. All right. So 120 divide 120. How much it comes to be the total? Okay, 45 and 45. Okay, 90, 90 and 45. 90, 90 and 45. Okay, 45 and 45. 45 and 45, we have got it. Okay, okay, okay. Yes, yes. It has to be 45 and 45. So let me solve it again. So 30, okay. So total comes to right. The opening, the total is we have 1158, and for associate we have 30, right? So yes, it will come out to 45 for legal and 45 for staff. Yes, exactly. That's the correct answer in the ratio of 3:3:2. Clear so far? So just clean the format and add all the values. Uh, 45 and 90. Just calculate the closing balance also for legal and staff. We have the opening, we have the joined and the closing. 45 is beginning, 90 is joined, nobody left. So how much is the closing? Closing number of legal secretary. Calculate the closing number of legal secretary. Calculate the closing of legal secretary. I hope this everybody has understood. 3. 30 into 8 by 2 will come to 120 is the total. Out of this 30 belongs to, if we deduct 30, it comes to 90. So 45 and 45. So this is how we have to do. How much is the closing of legal and staff? 135. 135 is the closing for what? Yes, closing for legal, I guess. There is no separations. Closing for legal is 135. How much is the closing for staff? Closing for staff, okay, 45. Closing for staff, 45. So 45 plus 30, 135. 45 plus 30, 75 minus 30, 45. So again, the closing of staff is 45. Now we have calculated all the missing figures. We have all the data of the opening. We have the data for joined. We have the data for left. We have the data for closing. Now we good to go to calculate the employee turnover and different methods. One more exercise it has to be done. We have to split the joined to replacements and new joinees. All right. So let me just do it here only how we split it. All right. So we have to split the joint between replacements and new. Clear? 1620 have joined. Out of that, 90 have left. That means 90 must have been replaced. So 90 must have been replaced out of 1620. You understand what I'm saying? 1620 employees, record clerks have joined. How much have been replaced and how much are the new joinees? 90 have left, so 90 must have been replacements. Clear? So 1620 minus 90, that means new joinees are 1530. All right. New joinees must be 1530. Out of 1620, 90 must have been replaced because 90 have left. So 90 must have been replaced in their position in the vacancy, and 1530 are actual new. Coming to human resource, 30 have joined and 90 have left. 90 have left, but only 30 have joined. That means 30 are only replacements, no new joinee. Are you getting this? What I'm trying to explain? Understand this. We have to split the join into replacement and new. Out of 1620, 90 must be the joinees to fill the vacancy. So 90 is replacement and 1530 must be new joinee. In the second case, only 30 have joined and 90 have left. That means the persons who have joined have only filled the vacancy. No new joinee, only replacement. So out of 90, 30 we have filled the vacancy also. Coming here, legal secretary, nobody left, but still 90 joined. So no replacement, 90 total new joinee because nobody left. All right. Coming to staff attorney, 30 have left and 30 have joined. Here 30 are all replacement, no new. All right. 30 have left and 30 have joined. Out of associate, 15 have left and 30 have joined. 15 have left and 30 have joined. 15 must be replacements and 15 must be new. So whosoever are joining, because they have left also, some have left. So just to fill the vacancy. We are Darshan, we are splitting the into replacements and new joinees because we have to calculate replacement turnover, separation turnover, and flux method. We calculate replacement turnover. There are three turnover. Separation turnover. For separation turnover ratio, we have the number of separation, that means number of left. For replacement turnover, we have to calculate the number of replacements. That's why we need to calculate replacement. This is for replacement turnover. All right. And we need the new also because in flux method, we take left plus replacement and plus new. So we need all the three separately for flux method. I hope now you have understood. All right. Good, Darshan. I'm glad that you have understood. That's why we have splitting them. So we were here coming to senior staff. 12 had joined, nobody left. Senior staff, 12 had joined, nobody left. So that means these are all new, no replacement. 39 have joined and no left. That means they are all new, no replacement. Litigation, left, no new joining. All right. So there are no new. So that means nothing is there. There is no new and no replacement. All right. No new joinee. So nothing is there. So this is the total replacement and this is the total new joinee. Total replacement, total new joinee. And together they form number of accessions. Together they form number of accessions. All right. If we add both of them. So this is how we calculate. This is a very, very good practice question for employee turnover. All right, good. So let me show you. Do we have this? Yes. So this is the final clean sheet, before you. So this is the beginning and this is the end. We have calculated all the missing figures. Moving down, see, they have also done this. Separated together it's 1620 and we have split between replacement and new joinee. So separation turnover we have separations, replacement turnover we have replacement, for accessions we have all the three. So this is how you can calculate number of separations divided by average. How we calculate average? Opening plus closing divided by 2. So this how we can calculate the average number. Opening plus closing divided by 2. And this is the number of separations, number of recruitments, number of replacements, and total number of. So this is accessions. This is accessions. All right. Total new joinees are accessions. Okay. So this is how, and we have other illustrations also. So many practice illustrations are there. So students, that's enough for this session. And I hope you must have understood the concepts, whether it's for earnings, or for labor cost, or for turnover, or for premium bonus method. I must have done the practice, or if not done, you please do the practice under different combinations under Halsey and Rowan. And let me tell you, when the time saved is, more than 50%, it's always Halsey, which will give you more incentive. And if the time saved is, if the time taken is, less than 50%, then again ROAN is better. So ROAN is better if you have moderately efficient. If you are very very high efficient, ROAN plan incentive will start decreasing. So ROAN plan, it increases initially, then it reaches the peak, and then the total incentives decline. So when you are highly efficient, ROAN is not for you. And if you're moderately efficient, then ROAN is good for you. All right. So you will understand this conclusion when you do the different combinations. And yes, then we have done employee turnover and a lot of questions we have practiced. I hope you must have understood employee cost. So that is all for the employee cost session. We'll meet you in some other session for some other unit. For till then, happy learning. All the best to all of you. Thank you, students.